What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another uniform review video. Alright, so getting around to this, just got back from being away for the holidays, so we're going to start posting some videos again, and we have two new uniforms here, only going to be on sale for another 3 days, but we do have Bullseye and Hawkeye. Both of them do have their tier 4, I guess. Did they both get it with this update? I can't remember if Hawkeye already had his tier 4 or not, but anyway, they both have tier 4, so let's take a look at Bullseye first. So here we have Bullseye with his Wastelanders look. Alright, so uniform is going to change both of his passives. We have increased guaranteed crit damage by 30%. I don't know why I said guaranteed. Increase crit damage by 30%, and increase all attack by 35%, increase chain hit damage by 15% when attacking. So all damage there for his uniform effect. His 2-star or tier 2 passive is going to be increased guaranteed crit rate by 25%. We have 50% ignore dodge. We have increased skill damage by 40% and bonus damage by 45%. I think that's just like a small boost from this one here, right? Yeah, so 50% there, then 30 and 15. Oh, actually, it's quite big, isn't it? Yeah, 30, 15. So he's getting a 10 and a 30% buff right there and getting that guaranteed crit. Okay, so that's a pretty good buff to his passive here. Now his 4-star passive is going to be a 30% chance when using a skill to get a 70% chance to penetrate. Looks like everything here: super armor, barrier, shield, all damage, immune, and invincibility. So that's kind of leaning towards maybe a PvP uniform here. Oh no, let's see what the other skills got. Fatal draw, so nothing on that one. Second skill, nothing on that one. Third skill, we have increase all attack by 40%. Okay, fourth skill, 30% HP recovery, 5 seconds of invincibility, increased damage dealt by 100% for 1 attack. Okay. Fifth skill, we have increase all attack, all defense by 45%, 1% speed, and a 35% crit rate with 5 seconds of damage immunity. So he doesn't have any ignore dodge or ignore targeting, ignore iframe. So maybe he's not a PvP unit. Yeah, it doesn't really seem like it. He does have like all damage buffs, so hopefully he's going to be doing a lot of damage, but let's go ahead and hop into the skill preview here, see what the animations look like, and see if Bullseye is going to be putting in work or not. So we have first skill, throwing some cards there. Second skill, getting up close and personal there. Was he just using his I was using cards to attack there, or a gun? That was kind of weird. Third skill, throwing some more cards, but this time they explode, or the cards with grenades. Fourth skill. Alright, pulling out the Beretta 50 cal there, it looks like. Alright, this needs to turn off. I want to see that again. So, alright. So all of that kind of like tactical kind of red flooring right there is actually doing damage to the enemy as well. A few shots there. Fifth skill. Okay, lots of explosions and shooting. Okay. Alright, so what can we cancel here? So third skill has a lot of explosions going on there. Can we instant cancel? We can, pretty close to instant cancel that. Yeah, you have to wait for it to throw the grenades a little bit. Boom. Yeah, alright, so you can cancel that pretty quickly. Fourth skill, I don't think... Yeah, because he's shooting that gun. So I definitely don't want to cancel the fourth skill. Fifth skill. So we have all of that, and then an explosion. Alright, so how much of that do we get if we cancel? Looks like... Oh, looks like we get everything. Okay. So, yeah, we're gonna do 3, 5, 4. Okay, that looks fine to me. 3, 5, 4. Very tight for the rotation there, so Yeah, you should be able to get that off with the damage proc, but look how much of the damage you're missing if you're using a damage proc. Because, like, let's do the rotation. So it's... Oh, the fourth skill didn't catch. Gotta wait for this to come off. Come on, hurry up. Alright, so... I'm holding the thing. As soon as he starts walking away, all that damage right there, we're not going to be getting with our damage proc. So as soon as the character can be moved with your joystick, you are no longer getting the effects of your damage proc. So for him, it looks like he's going to be missing out on quite a bit there at the end of the skill. So he definitely looks like he wants to use a rage. You should be able to get, you know, some damage out of him with... Yeah, with the regular damage proc, but... like that whole big explosion at the end, all the fire and stuff, so you're missing out probably on like a good 30 to 40% of his damage if you don't have a rage, which is a little annoying. And then his awakening skill, could we cancel that one? Yeah, I think we could, right? Yeah, so you want to probably do awakening skill 3, 5, 4. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Awakening skill 3, 5, 4. Oh, I always mix them, or they always want to do the opposite of me. 5 and 3. That's a lot less damage proc friendly. Because, like, reset that, so 5, 3, and then wait for that. See all the hits you're getting from the 5th skill right there? You definitely want to use 3 into 5 if you have a damage proc on him. If you have a rage, you can do 5, 3, 4. It doesn't really matter, but if you have a damage proc, definitely do not do 5, 3, 4. And then probably cancel the awakening skill first. Boom, 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 boom. All right, interesting. I mean, he looks good because we have a lot of hits going on there. It's just I really think he's going to need a rage to perform really well. But I do expect him to hit pretty hard if you put a rage on him. It definitely looks like he's going to be dishing out some damage. So, yeah, I mean, not bad. He looks pretty good outside of the fact that he doesn't have accumulation on his default skills here. He gets accumulation from his awakening skill. So you do have to wait every 30 seconds to get the accumulation. If I remember correctly, it's really bad accumulation. I think he had something like 0.4 or 0.3% accumulation, so he's only getting like a 30 or 40% damage increase from his accumulation, which is really, really bad, by the way. That's very low on the accumulation scale. But I mean, I still accept him to perform decently if you have a rage on him. If you don't have a rage on him, probably just a Shadowland character or like a mid war boss character. So now we'll go ahead and look at Hawkeye here. So Hawkeye, we have also the Wastelanders look here. It just basically looks like old man Hawkeye. We've got increased chain hit damage by 25%. We've got guard break immunity. And then another one of those activation when a skill is used. Okay, it's get a 100% chance to increase crit damage by 50% on critical attacks. So that's pretty nice. That actually boosts your damage quite a bit, getting that extra 50% crit. So I do like that addition right there, which I don't know if it is addition because I didn't buy his last uniform. No, he did have that on his last uniform. I don't think he had it on this one though. Yeah, I didn't have it on this one. So I skipped the uniform that he did have that on. So we're getting extra 5%. Yeah, so we're getting extra 5% from his previous uniform. Okay. All right, tier 2 passive. We have crit damage 30%, guaranteed dodge by 30%, increase skill damage by 35%, and bonus damage by 30%. So he has a little bit of defensive kind of ability in there with that guaranteed dodge. His 4-star passive is going to be increased guaranteed crit rate by 35%, ignore dodge by 40%, 50% chance to penetrate everything. Okay. And then first skill, nothing. Second skill, nothing. Third skill. Okay, so third skill, we do have ignore targeting. Okay, and a V-pad. Recover 40% HP. We have 5 seconds of damage immunity and 50% increase to all attack. Okay, that sounds pretty good right there. And then increase increase attack by 80% for one attack. So we have a damage proc for 80% there on one attack. I think Bullseye had a 100% one, so a little bit less here for Hawkeye. And then the 5th skill, we have 5 seconds of invincibility. We have increase all attack and defense by 50%, 10% speed, and 20% crit rate. So he doesn't have as many buffs as Bullseye. So he's kind of more balanced, I would say. He's got some defense in here. Along with his offense, he does still have the ignored dodge, which is really good. That's very handy for a lot of PvE content. And he also has ignore iframe here, so he might be viable in PvP as well. Yeah, and I'm not sure how much of that, since I skipped this uniform, I don't remember how much of that is actually the same. So I have a lot of it the same there. That's pretty much the same there. So he did have the ignore iframe on his previous uniform, but he has a bigger heal now. Would he have a 30 or 40% heal now? So that went up by a little bit. Okay. He still have that 80%. Still has 5 seconds, 50, 10, and 20. All right, so they're not really that different, are they? Yeah, I mean, he's got the bigger heal, but that's pretty much it. Bigger heal and like an extra 5% on like 2 or 3 things. Yeah, so these uniforms are basically the same. So if you have this uniform versus this uniform, so far in terms of the actual skill text and buffs, you're barely getting any difference. So it's going to be all down to the skill animations if this uniform is actually going to be any better than his previous uniform. So, first skill. Got some kicks, shoots some arrows. Second skill. Shoots a fire arrow there. Third skill. Oh, this is the... Oh, yeah, that's the V-pad one. And this ignores iframe as well. I mean, that could be pretty good for PvP. I don't know. You can move around, and it gets quite a few hits. I mean, you are going to be only targeting one enemy, but... I don't know. It seems okay. And then the 4th skill. Okay, dash around, shoots just different elemental arrows. Got some poison, fire, and ice there, I guess. 5th skill. Shoot some arrows up in the air. Yeah, they've got some pin juice on those apparently, and they got big up in the air. Okay. So... Yeah, I don't think you can cancel... You can't cancel the 4th skill, so... It'll be whichever one does more damage. You could do 5, 3, proc on 4. Or we can do 5, 4, proc on 3. I think 4 probably does more damage, but he's got very short animations. So we can do... Boom, boom. Yeah, that's very short. Again, he's suffering from the same downside as Bullseye, that you're not getting much out of your rotation if you just have a regular damage proc, because for him, his skills end very short, which is kind of the same for Bullseye, except Bullseye has a lot of additional damage at the end after you can move the character, whereas Hawkeye just doesn't. Like, see, boom, boom, and then you go. So you're just missing out on that fire right there as part of your damage proc, but... You kind of want to, you know, throw in this skill afterwards and then probably do like 1 or something like that. So I probably do like 5, 3, 4, boom, let that go. Do that, and then do 2, 1, and then kind of meander around and wait for your rage to come back. So another character, it looks like he wants rage, but he seems a lot less, I don't know, good or flashy than Bullseye. Because, I don't know, I just don't see a lot of damage here. Bullseye definitely looks like he's going to be hitting harder. Hawkeye definitely looks like he can work better with a regular damage proc, just because you do get most of his stuff done in that short time that he's doing the skill. But let's see what the... whatchamacallit. rotation that they want you to do. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, you're going to want to instant cancel that 3 though if you have a damage proc, because if that lightning comes out at all, you're pretty much going to be procking early. Okay, so you do want to proc on the tier 3, so let's see what that looks like real quick. Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, he definitely looks more promising with his tier 3 skill as part of that. So you probably want to do 5 instant, and then right into the tier 3. Yeah, so this is going to work a lot better with the damage proc than Bullseye, that's for sure. So his tier 3 is going to work well. But again, it looks like another character that wants rage, and he just doesn't look like he's going to do enough to really earn a rage. That makes sense. So both these characters seem a bit underwhelming to me. I would say like their biggest allure would be the fact that they have that built-in ignore dodge, so that can really help if you're pushing like dispatch missions, if you're pushing in some world boss content where you actually need some dodge ignore because say you don't have all the strikers up, dodge ignore strikers, or you don't have good dodge ignore kind of support characters, then that could come in handy, because it does make a very big difference having that dodge ignore versus the enemy dodging like even 25 to 30% of your attacks. So that's probably the main use case I can see for him. But outside of that, I don't really think he's going to be performing well compared to your other characters, especially your other characters that you could put a rage on instead of these 2 characters. So yeah, again, Shadowland character or mid world boss stages, or if you really need these characters for dispatch, then again, that ignore dodge can definitely come in handy for that. Hawkeye, maybe some use in timeline, but again, doesn't look like he's going to be doing enough damage or enough stuff to really push through there. So I don't know, just kind of middling characters to me, but let me know in the comments below if you found a good place to use these 2 characters. Maybe there's probably an alliance battle extreme that they can be used in. Actually, yeah, probably Bullseye. I think Bullseye is going to be a good alliance battle extreme character, so he might actually be good for that, because I do remember him popping up all the time, and I just have this one, so I just don't use Bullseye. I forget who I use instead, but I just don't use Bullseye. So yeah, he could definitely be used there. But those are probably the only use case scenarios for these 2 that I see. Again, that's just my initial impressions. I'm personally going to be skipping these since I don't really have a big desire to build either of these characters. I don't think I have either of them ranked up. My Hawkeye, I think, is still just at regular tier 2 level 70. Bullseye, I do think I have him fully transcended actually, but that's about it. So maybe I could get him to level 80 and then this uniform might become a little more valuable to me. But either way, those are just my initial thoughts. Let me know in the comments below, like I said, if you've had any success with these 2 uniforms. But that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.